up and hold on as we take you for a wild and exciting ride on the road to TransWorld. This is TransWorld Live.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to TransWorld Live. We are back. We are here. It's Tuesday night, and we're ready to party. I hope all of your holidays were just awesome experiences. I know all around the country, people were plagued with cold, freezing temperatures. So hopefully that did not impact you and your loved ones. And if it did, hopefully you have a quick recovery. Boy, do we have an awesome show. Nicole is going to be here very, very shortly as well to join us. We have three amazing guests, lots of information. So I got to ask you a big favor. Log in. You need to log in. We need to be able to see your name in the comments. You're definitely going to want to do that because we've got three big giveaways tonight. Some huge surprises. Again, we just continue to raise those stakes. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. And this is where it's at. Folks, I can't believe it. We are 36 days away from the big party. February 1st, that's when it all goes down. And we're going to be there together. Can't wait. We've got so much to talk about. If you noticed on the website, if you noticed on our social media, the biggest thing that came out this week is the floor plan is live. And there's nobody better to talk about it than our very own Rich Bianco. Rich, what's going on, sir?
What's up, Chris?
What's up? How was your holiday?
Well, let's see. I'm sitting in a hotel right now, drinking some Fiji.
You always have the best water choices. If the little secrets about Rich, he is an expert on water and has taught me so much about it. It's awesome.
Pretty much all I drink. So, I'm enjoying some plastic this evening, in my water.
I know you prefer the bottle, the glass bottle version, and there's so many reasons why. We could dedicate a whole episode to that. Actually, that would be.
We probably bore everybody because most people on this show probably don't drink water.
It's an awesome. We were just kind of talking about all that cold weather, and Rich and Jen and the whole family traveled around the country through all of that. And we're glad you're safe. We're glad your families are safe. Yeah. But we are so excited. We were just talking about how awesome it is to have this insanely huge floor plan now released to the public and can see the efforts of all of your work. It's a masterpiece. And it seems like every square inch of that place is covered with booths. I mean, they're just multiplying out of the woodwork.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It was the toughest year to do it because of, as you know, a lot of people were expecting there to be a change in the layout this year because we were supposed to be moved and lose halls 1 and 2, and we literally found out a month ago that wasn't happening, and we ended up getting back to our normal halls, which we're happy, because that makes it easier for the people that have been there for years. They know where they're going to be, and customers that are coming in, they know where they're at. So it made it easier for everybody. The new guy was a little tougher for because we did, say, hey, there's going to be a new layout. We'll be able to get you this, get you that. Some things didn't work out that way just because, we do have a first right of refusal program, for our people that have seniority, and they obviously get their space, where they're supposed to be. But, you're going to find your 3 premier sponsors where they normally are, Froggy's Fog and TicketSpice and Universal Concepts all in their regular booths. And then, the other guys that have been around for years, are still going to be, you're going to find Ghost Ride where he's always at, and Stilt Beast where he's always at, and so forth and so on. So, Fright Props, right at the front door of the Dark Zone, and Poison Props right in the middle of the Dark Zone. So, you're going to find everybody, that you're used to finding in those regular spots. But the cool changes are, we made some pretty unique changes on the back end of the show, which is, neat if you've looked at it. Last year, we listened to some of our exhibitors. We had some, concerns. I wouldn't really call them complaints, but a few people said, you brought in a lot of inflatables over the last couple of years, and it's getting pretty hard for us to be able to hear, especially in the escape room pavilion. It was tough for a lot of guys there, and we listened to their concerns. We moved them up in front of the inflatables and put them more towards the back end of the show because it's larger. It's easier to find them. It's not like you can, get lost trying to find the inflatables. They're easy to locate. And then, we always have vertical reality every year that brings in a lot of amusement rides and stuff. And they're there. We have a couple different inflatable companies. A third one, I think, that's looking at joining us. They're trying to figure out if the logistics work out. There's not much space left for them, but we're trying to figure out where and how we can put them in. But as you can see, I mean, if you looked at the floor plan today, there's hardly any space left. And to be honest with you, there are some spots that say available. Since I've been away, I've had at least I think 7 new companies sign on that I haven't even assigned yet. So, and there's probably maybe 30 or so companies that aren't on the exhibitor list that needs to be updated.
That's awesome.
We had a couple things that were changed, and there's always a few mistakes here and there. We have some mistakes that need to be corrected because we have myself that assigns them and plots them, and then I turn it over to Heritage, which is our decorator, and then it's turned over to Craig, who is our one of our IT guys that does the interactive floor plan. So sometimes things get a little bit quirky and mixed up. So, if you do have something you notice that your name's either misspelled or, you're marked in the wrong number, don't be alarmed. Send me an email. Like I've gotten a couple, not many, but there's a few, mistakes that get corrected. But beyond that, it's looking great.
It is looking larger than ever. And to your point, like nothing is ever intentional. We're trying to make sure everybody's happy. So if you do notice something, please email Rich. But to your point earlier, like as large and as compacted as the show looks, there's still a few spots. So if you're still on that fence of considering, they should reach out, right? Absolutely.
Yeah. It's I've had people already reach out to me. Like I said, I've received several texts while I've been traveling, and I assured people that they can still get space. And some guys wait till the last minute for various reasons. They're not sure if they can make the show. They're not sure if they can get the product in time. They're not sure they're going to have product to sell. And we understand that. So we always have that, last minute. And there's always a few guys down the stretch that come in as well that maybe, they heard about us from someone else and they pull the trigger last minute. To be honest, like the last 30 days, I usually have at least another 30 exhibitors, over those last 30 days. So, and I'll find space for them somehow. We'll figure out, wherever they go, we'll figure out a spot. They might not get as many booths as they would like, but most of them will at least get a presence.
I'm not going to hold you to a specific number, but one of the biggest questions we get here is, could you take a guess at how many new exhibitors we're going to see at this year's show?
That's a good question. Normally I know that because like I pay attention to it. And like if I went in the system, if ahead of time, I could have guessed, but I mean, it's at least 70, new ones. So, you're always going to have, in reality, any show of our size, you're going to have 30 to 40 companies that don't come back. Like our retention rate is insane. Yeah. Like it's higher than any show I've ever seen. It's probably in the 90, well above 90%. Retention rate, which is crazy, and that just means the people that are doing the show, it's a good fit for them. We try not to solicit people that don't fit. We do have people that solicit us, and sometimes we're even honest with them that you're probably not going to be a fit for the show. But there are people that come, and for whatever reason, maybe they're not successful and they don't come back the following year. But we grow every single year. I mean, since I've been here, I've been here since 2013. I haven't seen a year where the show's been smaller ever since I've been here. Prior to when I was there, I heard the same thing. It just never got smaller. It's always grown. The show started out with 3 rows of booths. That's what it was, like not long ago, maybe 15 years ago. And now here we are, and you guys see it. It's we have owl after owl after owl, and usually well over 400 exhibitors when it's all said and done. So
Definitely, we've seen that. We're really excited to have one of our guests tonight who's been with us in St. Louis since day one, and we're going to talk just about that, how the show has evolved and grown. And just to your point earlier, to anyone that does this, to anyone that's considering doing it, it's a partnership in success. TransWorld wants to make sure they're with you, making sure that your business is growing and developing. It's not just like, hey, let's stick you out on the floor. We want you to win. We win together.
No, it's like last year. It's interesting. If like the amount of exhibitors that have come up to me and said it was their best year by far ever last year, like not even close. And like, what they always ask us what we're doing different. We don't really change a ton. We're always looking for new things. Like, we did rename the escape room area this year to the interactive entertainment area, and it fits the show better. It's a broader audience. And like, yes, escape rooms are a big part of our industry, but there's a lot of other things that guys are doing, with the, the gel blaster and global archery tag and amusement rides and midways and all that stuff. And in that area pretty much allows all that. Like, and Nicole can speak more on what's going on there. We have a lounge specifically for that area this year where there will be meetups and different educational things being done in that lounge area. And it's nestled in a nice spot this year. So it's not at the very back end of the show. It's slid up. I feel it's going to have a much better response. The TransWorld Live booth is back there, of course, and in the same spot as it was last year. So people know we're right next to Winterland, and, Chris will be there giving away millions of dollar prizes. And
and those epic chairs, will they be back?
Those chairs will be back. Yes. Yeah. They will be back. They will be for sale at the end of the show. You can buy them, as soon as you like. So.
For those that had a chance to stop by, that was one of the most clever things. I don't think we expected those to be like on anyone's mindset. And here I am calling Rich like 10 minutes into the show. People want to buy the chairs. And so,
yeah,
crazy things.
Yeah, they're cool chairs. We like them, and they make the booth look good. They're comfortable. People enjoy, sitting in them during the show. So they've worked out well for us there.
You're getting a lot of love in the chat. And I just want to pull one comment specifically, not to diminish or not put any highlight on any others, but Scott Tater Lynn, our friend Tater, just put a comment out there about how he wants to publicly say how much he appreciates both you and Jen and what you're doing for the show and the industry. And I think all of us echo that.
Yeah. Tater has never said a nice thing to me in his life. I'm very appreciative to hear him post that publicly. I don't know if it's true or not. He probably means that about Jen, but we'll take that as a compliment to both of us. No, I'm just kidding. I love Tater, and I wish him the best. I hope he had a great holiday. But yeah, there's a lot of folks actually posting on there how they had great years, and I'm very excited for the new guys coming in. Like as an exhibitor, if you've been there for years and you see a new guy, I appreciate if you get out there and like help the new guy that's in there, because don't look at them as your competitor. Like it's good to have options. There's a reason why McDonald's and Burger King are across the street from each other. Like it actually helps get more sales is how it works. So you want to try to help your new exhibitor. You never know what they can do for you. I find it interesting, even on the Christmas side, how much those guys work with each other. Like, this guy buys from that guy, or this guy's got a big job and he helps this other guy, that happens quite a bit. So it's good to get out there as an exhibitor and network with other exhibitors to, find out what they're doing to make themselves successful.
It's wild. To your point, it's wild to see all of the intermingling. Lots of the haunt people will go to that interactive entertainment section, find out new stuff, go to the Christmas section, start brainstorming for other ideas to diversify their income. It's just awesome to see everybody kind of mingle.
No, and it's even like I see, some of the posts from Sean Fenner, where when the industry does well, we all do well, and it's the truth. I couldn't say that any better. Like it's really the truth. If TransWorld is successful when you're successful, so it doesn't help us to it's not just about one company. It's not about. I hope that anybody that is even a small exhibitor out there, I try to treat a guy that's a one booth guy as well as I treat a guy that's buying 30 booths from us, you know, because they all matter. The little guy becomes the big guy. There are so many stories that I could tell you, guys that came in and started out with a couple booths, and next thing you know, they're like, you know, buying 15 because every year they increase because they bring more product, they do more sales, you know. And what's nice is a lot of our exhibitors too are from the industry. They work in haunts, they own haunts, you know, or they work at a Christmas event, they own a Christmas event, you know, so it's kind of cool.
Again, partnership and success. I think it's so awesome. Now, can we get your expert advice? Lee had made a comment in the chat about the hotels being booked, and we know there's some secret openings and some windows that are going to be happening soon. Can you give us expert advice on how to book a hotel if you haven't done that yet?
Absolutely. I mean, you can always feel free to reach out to us. We're very hands-on and we'll try to help you. I've had a couple of exhibitors reach out to me and say, oh, I can get 3 nights at this hotel, but I need 5, you know, and like they don't have any rooms on those 3 nights. And I can't make them, you know, come up with more rooms. You know, we can't specifically do that, but there are times where a room opens and we may be able to call you and say, hey, this room just opened up, and, you know, let you know. But one of the biggest things that I know from doing this for, you know, 10 years, 30 days out, you know, there's a policy with the majority of these hotels in St. Louis that you pay for the first night 30 days out. Sure. So say, for instance, if you're company A and you book 8 rooms and you decide you needed 7, you release that room so you don't get nailed for the first night's fees. And that's generally 30 days out. So if you're looking to find a hotel and you haven't booked one yet, you know, like, shame on you. No, I'm just kidding. But you should try to reach out to these hotels, you know, at the 30-day mark or, you know, the 29-day mark, because rooms will be released at almost every one of the hotels. I see it all the time. And we track that. We track our room blocks. And, you know, if we have a certain number this day and the next day it goes down a little bit, our numbers always go up, but that 30-day mark, they drop. And then they'll go back up again is what they do. So that's a good time to try to look for a hotel, you know. And you know, like each hotel we're close to the center has its own specialties. Like I like the Marriott if you're somebody that really wants to network and really be with people. People literally party all night long there and network. They're out till 4 a.m. there. I don't know if that'll be happening this year outside because it's a little colder being in February. This year, cool thing is the Magnolia right behind it is kind of, it's been decorated by Dobbs at Santaland and MK Illuminations, who you know, put up a lot of the products to decorate that hotel. A lot of the Christmas people are choosing to stay there because of it, so that's cool. To the right and the left of the center, the Marriott's directly across the street, but to the right and the left, you have, if I'm standing in the center and I'm looking out to the right, you have the Holiday Inn, which was remodeled a couple years ago. Yep. Beautiful hotel. We usually host some events there. Yep. That's a great hotel as well. And then to the left, you have the Embassy Suites, which has an amazing, I wouldn't really call it a made to order breakfast, but it has an omelet station. It has a food station. It has bacon and egg station. It has a pastry station. They literally have everything there for breakfast. And they have a happy hour where a large number of drinks are included for free. So there's all this stuff in it. Behind that is the Drury. Good luck trying to get a room there, because I swear the minute the show ends, we get 400 calls saying, is the room block open yet? Because everybody wants that hotel. They must have an amazing amenities that are included with your booking at a very reasonable rate. So that hotel goes immediately. Most people book that the day they leave TransWorld. So
people are loving those free amenities, both at Drury and Embassy Suites and all those little perks.
Yeah.
It makes it more fun.
You pay a little bit more there, but if you got a staff and people, I mean, it saves you a lot, because every day you're not feeding breakfast, and you can go up there and I think it's on the 4th floor, and they have an amazing breakfast there. You can have that and a happy hour. It's a great place to meet with people and have some drinks prior to going out and stuff. You know, I think they run that for a couple hours, you know, so I've stayed there many years, and then I like it because we're always running to a party. So it's really hard. We don't want to be disrespectful, but we're running out of the elevator out the door to a party to get set up for it. And sometimes when you're at the Marriott, it's very tough because like there's so many people there and you have to say hi to everyone. It's really hard to get out of there. We kind of sometimes we'll stay at the embassies, sometimes we stay at There's I think it's called Hotel St. Louis. That's like up the street around the corner.
Yeah.
I really like that place. That was cool. I mean, there's a bunch of little hotels around there that you can stay at.
Agreed. I think each one has their own little perks. Some people are commenting, like Paul says, that it has a pool as well. You got to recreate a little bit while you're here doing
that.
That
is true. I forgot about the pool. Yeah. So like Paul's obviously been there. So, and it's a great hotel. Like we've stayed there off and on for years, and then it's suites, so it's big. The rooms are very large. Yeah. So.
And just credit to our producer, Robert. He loves the omelets. So again, we're all about those perks and all those wonderful things. Robert, absolutely. You want to make your stay so much more enjoyable. You have great products and a great show and a floor, and we've got parties and people, but that little extra drink or, maybe a little free snack, that helps too. So
yeah, absolutely.
Robert just posted the floor plan so that everybody can click on it right in the chat. If somebody's on the fence, if you know somebody that's on the fence, obviously booth space is running very, very thin. So please reach out to Rich at rich@haashow.com and get you set up.
Yeah, my cell number is on the website. If you just click on the contact button, my number's on there. You can email me, text me, call me, whatever. I'm usually, if I'm available, I answer. So anytime you need anything as far as the floor plan, or anything for the show, it doesn't matter. I help with a lot of different things. We do various things, and I'm very proud that Tater just posted on this hero, giving me major props tonight. I feel great. We're like buddies now. Look at me, Tater. I'm put up in a hotel here, like sitting here with my computer plugged in the back. Terrible lighting. So anyway, hey, I'm excited about the next two guests that are on.
Me too.
Courtney and what's that guy's name from St. Louis?
Oh,
or something.
Yeah, forget about it.
The tribute store. And funny thing is, Mark, I've already had somebody tell me that they bought the tribute store last year. They asked me if they get first right of refusal. They would love to buy it again this year. So I'm sure whatever you make is going to be hot. We're excited to see it this year and see the store because that was a big hit last year. And I'm sure a lot of people will like to hear what direction you're heading with that.
It was during when we started our road to TransWorld, and you and Jen were our guests. It was one of our first questions, so can't wait to ask Mark that. That's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear what he's doing. You know what I mean? And Tater he has a product that it's sold in the store. I'm sure it's some type of drinking device. I don't know what type it is. A flask, I would say, or something. Genie in a bottle. I don't know.
Well, I can't wait. So happy. Thank you for joining us. If anybody doesn't have any questions right now, feel free to reach out to Rich. And I'm sure Rich will be back as we're continue our road to TransWorld here, just 36 days until February 1st.
Absolutely. Great having you, having me on anyway. And super excited that the show's is close. I can't believe when I get home, we're literally for us, it's 3 weeks. I'll be leaving in 3 weeks to start setting up. So we're all excited to see you all. And I hope we end up with the weather that we're getting this coming week because it's supposed to be in the 50s, like for us in Chicago. So
cannot wait. We need that.
All right, Chris.
Thanks, Rich. Appreciate you.
Good luck with the other two guys. I hope you're half as good as I was.
The bar has been set. Thanks, Rich, for being here. Oh, man. Always a good time. We get updates straight from the source. So excited to have any updates from Rich and from Jen and the entire team that is planning the show of a lifetime. Don't miss it. If you have questions, if you are curious, if you need to find out where to go, what to do, and how to get there, your one-stop shop source, haashow.com. Check it out. It's updated all the time, just like the floor plan was just updated. So, well, we're really excited about our very, very next guest. Super excited. He's been with us for 5 years now, and we're super excited to have from 1031 Concepts, Mr. Courtney McIntyre. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How about yourself?
Doing good.
Holy cow. I love, okay, first, I'm sorry. We got to talk about the masks. Like, I love this entire collection that you have.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Immortal Masks. So
we are too. They're going to be on the show hopefully in a couple of weeks here. And super. It's good to see you. How are you doing? How was your holiday?
Good. Busy. Not relaxing with keep that timer in my head. 40 days out, 39 days out, 37. So didn't get much time to rest during the holidays, but.
No, it's like it just keeps ticking closer and closer. I know we are, really, really excited to see what 1031, and I know we're going to get to that. For anyone that may not be familiar with your company, with your product, with your history, and we had a chance to talk a little bit before the show, can we start right at the beginning? Tell us about the history and the founding of 1031 Concepts.
Yeah, so like late 2018, I no longer was doing a haunted house, so I figured I'd jump into the costume business. Started out really small, like a lot of companies did, and was just doing a lot of upcycling and things like that. So basically, what upcycling is buying something, distressing it, things of that nature. And then just kept getting larger and larger and larger. My first TransWorld was 2019. I was trying to be, just trying to get into the game. I did a 10 by 10. I was talking to a couple friends of mine, and they're like, you need to do a 10 by 20 at least. So I did. I scrounged up the money and did a 10 by 20. And then this year I'm actually going to have a 10 by 50. So it's just grown bigger and bigger each year.
That's so exciting to hear. TransWorld's made such an impact on so many different businesses. And I want to, just continue with that. It obviously has seemed to accent it. But what role would TransWorld play in all of the evolution and progression of your business?
Oh, I'd say 95% of it, honestly. I mean, obviously you get, you're going to get the low hanging fruit that somebody sees something that you did or whatever the case may be. But honestly, almost 100%, I might even say that I owe it all to TransWorld. I mean, like I said, I grew my business, and from 2018 to 2019 and 2020, obviously it didn't happen with COVID, but I doubled my business in 2021 and then 2022, and then just continue to double my business. So I now have a couple seamstresses on staff and things like that. It's insane.
You're getting some love in the chat here. Derek Seltzer, who's a good friend of mine and the show and TransWorld, is so excited to see your costumes. I want to make the people wait. So can we talk just about some of your new highlights? Not the newest stuff, but like what has been your top performers of this year?
I just recently started doing like one-piece clown suits.
Oh.
I call them my bedlam of buffoons. Like I have 13 that I did basically like a soft showing of them this October with a few of them. Okay. I'll have 13 coming into TransWorld this year, along with 2 Christmas ones I'm doing. So basically 15 one-piece clown suits that will all be new for next year. It's honestly it goes in waves. Like something that I don't think is going to be popular, I'll sell 10 or 12 of, and then it'll go cold for a little bit, and then it'll get hot again. So it just depends on the type of person. I mean, stuff that I talk to my wife or talk to some of my friends. I'm like, you think this is going to work? Let's just bring it and see what happens. It ends up being the best selling item that we had. So it's crazy.
Okay, so crazy trivia time. What was the very first, when you went professional? Well, let's ask a 2-part question. I'm going to stop myself. What was the very first costume you ever created for yourself, like ever in history?
For me or for you? For Studio 1031.
For you personally, and then we'll go to 1031.
It was a ringmaster costume.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I look back on it now and I'm like, wow, it just should have went in the garbage, but I loved it.
And what about for 1031? When you went pro, your first baby out of the box?
Same thing. That was like our main big costume, Master of Scaremonies. It's basically like a ringleader, clown. We started out with like one different variant. Now I think I have maybe 12 to 15 different styles of it. And that's just always been a very popular costume from start to now.
Well, that is awesome, seriously, because to see where you've come and like many of us have a day job, and to be able to harness all of your creativity to put it together, it's kind of like that American haunted dream, so to speak. Not even American, international haunted dream, where you're able to, as we were talking earlier, quit your day job, do this full time, be successful, and make a lot of people happy. I mean, the love you're getting in the comments here about all of them are top performers. The clown suits are amazing. Everyone's looking forward to seeing your booth. Before we do anything bigger, can I bring in Nicole? Because she is definitely going to want to talk to you about all of the big stuff you've got coming. I think she's here. So we'll bring her here. What's up?
Hi, guys.
Hey, how are you?
I'm so sorry. Listen, I was like racing against the clock. I'm like yelling at my husband. I'm like, Courtney's on. Like, I need to do No, oh my gosh, guys, talk about a nightmare after Christmas. My Wi-Fi wasn't working, which, first world problems, but my goodness, we're running all over the house, the computer, all that. Yes. So thank you for bringing me in. I'm glad to be here. Courtney, I'm so glad that you're on. And I was at least able to watch on my cell phone a little bit to see the announcement. So I'm ready. I'm ready to hear all about what Courtney's bringing to TransWorld and what's going on.
I tried to hold him off. I knew you were going to want to hear this live.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you, guys. Hi, guys.
So last year, I think I brought probably 150-ish costumes to TransWorld, and I took home 7, which I thought was amazing. This year, even though it's early, I'm trying to bring 200. And I'm hoping to bring home less than 7. So we'll see what happens.
So what you're saying is we need a secondary truck.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Exactly.
Along with some other side things I have to do, like the pumpkins and things like that.
Yeah.
So I'm putting in the man hours for sure.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So okay, bring us up to speed. Tell us everything about your 2020. Like what was your highlights from this year? Either from the business side of things, like with costuming and some of your creations. What were the best things?
As far as like costume, like I was just telling Chris, I basically from 2019 or from 2021 to 2022, I doubled sales at TransWorld. So it just blew my mind, and then it just continued to snowball after the fact, where I was coming home from my day job of, like I said, 19 years and doing that and
back in the day.
Yeah. So trying, just trying to get it all done in time, and thought I took too many orders, and, I was stressing about that, but got them all done. Like, I think in like August timeframe. So was able to even do some more orders, to get out there to people. And I know around that time frame, a lot of costume companies don't have, a lot of stuff in stock. So
yeah,
my good friend of mine, George from Immortal, was like, "You're a costume company, make costumes." So I was making as many as I could and getting them getting them in stock and getting them out of there. So as far as like big sellers, Torture Doctor, which it's kind of like my take on like an H.H. Holmes kind of character.
Yeah.
It's like classy, it's kind of simple, but again, it's just something about it that everybody loves. I actually, I think you guys might have one.
Yeah, we did.
Well, so, and that was one that I was just talking to Chris about. I was on the fence about. I was like, it's kind of simple, but I really like it. Is it not going to sell? And then like the first day I had like, 7, 10 orders, and I'm just like, okay, well, I found something here. So like that, I have a costume that's called the Ripper. It's like a like a Jack the Ripper style, old school like that. That sells very well. When I started out, I did mainly clowns. Probably I'd say 80% clown stuff, 20% other odds and ends. And now I've transitioned to where I'm like 70 other stuff, 30 clowns, so I'm trying to balance it out this year in 2023 with my new clown suits, my Bedlam of Buffoons. So
well, that's actually a question from one of our audience members. You might know him as Tater. How many clowns compared to other costumes?
For this year, just the Bedlam of Buffoons, I have 15 different variants coming out of that. And I'm bringing 2 to 3 of each one. So some will be clean, some will be distressed, different sizes, things like that. So just in clown costumes this year, I'll have close to 100.
And there's a lot of and there's a lot of love for a character you called the Green Meanie.
Yeah. So I sat down with my seamstress and we talked a lot of companies don't want to touch fur, and we saw the popularity and saw the void with it. So we're doing a Grinch-like costume called the Green Meanie.
Chris, did you show that already yet? Has that been shown?
We haven't yet. We haven't.
Can we do that? Because we're getting a lot of love for that on the other side. People are asking if there is any Christmas costumes. Talks of Krampus.
And there are your catalog on your website. And for those that aren't on it right now, I know he's going to show some pictures. 1031costumes.com. Check this out. And Robert's just posted it, or is about to post it. Sorry. They're right on the front page. You can see some amazing. Oh, wow. There we go. It's alive. Wow.
Holy
so
moly.
So obviously I don't do the mask. I just do the costume. Yeah. But I pair a lot of my stuff, almost all my stuff, with like a mortal mask. But yeah, here's the costume. Tried to get it as screen accurate as possible. The fur was very hard to find. But yeah, it's basically it's neck to toe, a full costume. All you need is a mask. Even have the hat like he does. So comes with gloves, belt, fake belly. You can see from the side, kind of got the fake belly going on there.
It's perfect for those -12 nights like we've just had.
Exactly, and they're all oversized. So like I said, I mean, like this is considered the standard size. It's like an XL, but it's more like a 2X, just due to the fact that you can add like a fake belly to it or something like that.
Now, Courtney, give us size ranges. So that we know
I can do anything from extra small. Most of my stuff is extra small to 3X.
Okay.
But we can always go custom higher than that. Yep. For most.
Can you do tall sizes too?
Yeah. So like, for example, like this here, this is one of our Bedlam of Buffoons. This is a new clown one piece coming out. This is like made for anybody like 6'3" or taller.
Oh, that's awesome. We got a lot of tall guys. And
then you can see so there's like the clean version. There's a clean version of it compared to the distressed version.
Oh, wow.
So like I said, all the costumes this year, you'll have an option. You'll have the clean version and then like a distressed version. So
You're getting tons of love.
This is Nick Knack, and then this is Paddywhack.
Oh my God, I love that.
Wow. So, will they come to the show?
Yeah, so all these will be here. I actually have about 40 mannequins that we display in our booth. So
okay.
So a lot of these will be displayed, especially all the new stuff, and you can see there's like the clean version of that as well. And then this isn't a new one this year. This is Unholy. This is a popular one last year, but I did a all white variant this year of it.
Oh, that's very cool.
We have a question from the audience. Where's the dog bone from Paul Robinson?
The dog bone.
Yeah.
Not sure what he means by that.
Paul, if I clarify.
Yeah, Paul, if you can elaborate on that. Question.
I mean, is he asking about my dogs, my French bulldogs?
Oh, maybe.
We're gonna find out.
I always keep them. They're always with me. I call them my shop dogs. I post a lot of pictures of them when I'm working.
We're all dog lovers. We're all dog lovers.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Now, what is the average cost on some of these?
So for example, like the Bedlam of Buffoons, they start at $240, like the clown costumes.
Okay.
So the clean version's $240, and then if you want it distressed, it's additional $75. And then I'll be doing TransWorld specials on all this. So even like this here, this is $750. TransWorld, probably like $699, something like that. But I'm still looking at where my margins are with these clown costumes and everything. So I'm not sure of 100% of the TransWorld discount, but there will be a good discount on these.
Okay, we have clarification on the dog bone. Knick-knack, paddywhack.
Oh yeah, give a dog.
Yeah, that's okay.
Sorry, it's been a long day. I've been working a lot.
That's okay.
Day, so
That's
it
all
went right over my head.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's the Unholy there in the pale horse variant, basically all white. And then this is new. Sorry, I ran out of mannequins, but this one's new here. This is called the Omen. It's like a hooded ancient like priest kind of thing. And then went a little mist, little wizardy.
Oh.
This is new for this year. This is the Warlock.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Love
Courtney,
it.
one of the things that I absolutely love about your work is that every one of them, when you look at it, it tells a story. Like it's
Yeah.
so dynamic and there's a lot of depth to each one of them. It's just great.
Yeah, and I love it's hard for me not to have something that's one layer. Like I do multiple.
Yeah.
Layers. I always think that looks great. And these, you'll be getting used to these. These were somebody liked these a lot. These are called our druids. So basically, I'm gonna have 10 different color combinations of these. So here's like a brown and like a hunter green, hooded robe. And then underneath robe comes with netting, the netting sewed to the underneath the collar and things like that. Here's like a black and gray variant of it. But I'll have 10 different color variants of this. I'll probably have like 8 at TransWorld, and then anything, somebody else wants to create, obviously we can make it. If somebody wants a red robe with a yellow undercoat, we'll make it. So.
Now, Courtney, can you customize them? Like Paul is asking, as a Q-line actor, do you put pockets in them?
Yeah, I don't have to customize them. These already have pockets in them. Most of my stuff does have pockets in them. Yeah, I didn't do it in the clowns this year, only because we did. Most people do zippers in the back. We did a zipper in the front, a hidden zipper. So if you look right there, you can see a hidden zipper in the front. These are snapped on, so you can just zip it right down. And if you have to go to the bathroom, whatever the case may be, you don't need nobody to zip you up in the back, like I think probably every other clown costume is. So
yeah. So, and Courtney, that speaks to your experience in the haunt industry in a lot of ways. There's a little bit like the pockets thing. I'm immediately like, his wife must have told him everything needs pockets because pockets are a big thing.
Yes.
No, but really, in all actuality, like even having the zipper in the front, that's huge. That really, I can't tell you how many times.
I did the haunt. Sorry, I had the light on to show you guys. I did haunted house. I did a lot of haunted houses for years. I did it even as a little kid, so I kind of have a feel to what's needed and what's not. So, and also with a lot of these fabrics and things like that. I make a lot of stuff that's lighter fabric because I'm here in Florida and haunts in Florida, but I can also change it out to like a heavier canvas or something like that for haunts up north and things like that.
Yes,
That's awesome.
Courtney, you're so talented.
You're getting a lot of love, Rich and Jen, and a whole lot of other people in that chat, because I know you can't see it, when you're showing us all this great stuff, but just tons of great comments about your craftsmanship and the quality of your work.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, guys.
Now, Courtney, this is a really great question. Outside of clowns, what other trends are you seeing, and what are you getting requests for?
Like I said, I switched it a lot last year. I went to more robes, old, like stuff that could be. You could make it a witch. You could be a Grim Reaper with it.
Flexible.
Anything flexible like that. And I kind of transferred over, and transitioned to that. So. Because it's so versatile, somebody could wear it and add something to it, and it's a completely different costume, or take something away, and then it's a completely different costume. Like, for example, like one of those druids that I just showed you, you could add fur to that and bells, and now you have a Krampus, in certain colors and things like that. So
we're getting tons of great comments about your customer service, your successes in the industry. Yeah. Even I love watching the actors and other people comment and Kimberly, this is a great example. Pockets are essential and no zippers in the back. Actors do need bathrooms that's huge.
And so for example, I used to haunt act, if I had a clown costume on, it was, you got to find somebody to unzip, then once you go to the bathroom, then you got to find somebody to zip you back up. And you're running around trying not to see customers with a half zip costume up, so I
can't tell you how many times I've been like, hey Nicole, can you come over to the porta potty in the actor alley? I'm like, who needs okay, I got it. Now, question for you on washing costumes. This is always a really big question. What is your take on that, on some of your products?
Almost all my stuff is washable. I just recommend turning it inside out and washing on delicate, or if it's something that's got a lot of different pieces to it, maybe put it in like a laundry bag and just wash it on cold, like a light cycle.
But everything pretty much is washable. I wouldn't wash obviously like the Grinch costume. And then I would take the pom-poms off of the clowns and things like that, which, like I said, they are removable. So that's one thing. That's one thing we thought of as well. We need to have removable pom-poms because those will get destroyed in the washing machine.
Well, I can't thank you enough because like a lot of people are saying, please wash your costumes. Smelly isn't scary.
Yes,
yeah.
No one wants to smell that.
Yeah, exactly.
Tons of washing comments now.
Yeah.
This is
It's very essential for those.
Yeah, I played around with some stuff where, instead of it being sewed on, maybe add it to where like it's a button or something like that, so it can be removed, and then add it back on once it's washed and things like that. Because even if it's sewn on, there is some stuff that's going to get tangled up in the washing machine, like that netting I was showing you and things like that. That's going to get tangled up and we'll get ripped regardless.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%. Tons of. Yeah.
Sure. Chris, go ahead.
No. Just tons of people who really like your product cannot wait to see you in the booth. And there's only finite space in the truck. Are you taking pre-orders still? Ready for TransWorld?
No. The pre-order window closed. I took the orders. I had them filled up super quick, and no, I can't take any more pre-orders right now.
Fair enough. No, that's a great sign. That's
a huge sign. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But I am bringing, like I said, like some of the stuff I was showing here. There are multiple sizes, there's clean version, dirty versions, extra large, 3X. So, I mean, I'm trying to bring as much possible, to please the masses.
Now, if we could ask you for a preview, really people are excited. And Rich kind of made a comment as he was talking earlier. You are one of those prototypical success stories where you did start off small and you're growing every year. And to hear that you doubled from one year to the next is just amazing. What are in the plans or in the works that you might be able to tease us all for this year's show?
I do have a few masks coming out that will be pairing with the costumes. I do have a manufacturer I'm working with clown shoes. So basically you could do, it's trying to be a one-stop shop.
Excellent. Getting more love here. This is so great. I mean, it's just awesome that you're able to be so versatile. No.
Yeah. I'm staying out of the silicone mask industry. That's for the guys behind me. Like I said, I love pairing my stuff with them. We feed off each other. I send a lot of my stuff to George, and he gives me constructive criticism about some things, and I go back to the drawing board or something that simple that I didn't think of that he likes, and he helps me out. So he's really been a big mentor to me, and I try to stick with him and follow what he does. If he's releasing a bunch of stuff, I'm releasing a bunch of stuff. I don't fault like the companies that they keep the stuff on wraps until TransWorld, because I do get it is like Christmas Day for us, but
that's right.
I want it all out there. I want them coming to my booth first because they saw it.
That's
us
great.
Us too. Paul said it earlier. We are a community. And so it's so great to see just haunters helping and haunters supporting haunters, as we continually talk about here. Now, this one you may not want to give out, but we'll have to ask it anyway. Paul said, hey, can you reveal your clown shoe source? He's a professional clown.
No, I can't do that.
Okay,
no, but he can contact me. And I got about 15 or 20 pairs that I can show him.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Okay.
Hunters helping hunters.
There we go.
Yeah, I'll have about 50 pair of TransWorld to sell. Yep.
That's
awesome.
That's awesome.
Again, I've never seen them sold at TransWorld, so I'm just trying to bring, something different to the industry.
Love it.
I mean, thank you for that, really.
Of course, one of the big questions we ask anybody who's growing and progressing and evolving and helping the industry move is, how do you see industry trends rolling as our industry continues to grow and progress? Do you have any thoughts or feedback on where you see us going and where we might be in five years?
I mean, ever since COVID, it seems like it's just been a rocket ship, honestly. Like I think a lot of fans and a lot of customers like, oh, maybe I'll go see it. That when I owned a haunt, I heard that all the time. Oh, I'll come see you next year. I'll come see you next year. Well, now they know there might not be a next year with that. So let's get out there and do it. So for myself, I just continue to keep growing and growing and growing. Like I said, I had to get I have 2 signatures, and I had to get a part-time one just to help me get some stuff done for TransWorld and done in time, because I have to get it back to me so I can distress it and things like that. Obviously, I'm not the best sewer. I can only do minimal things with a handheld sewing machine. So I leave that to professionals that I have with me. So
That's awesome.
You've got a heck of a good team, and apparently some rumors are circling here, or maybe it's just Tater starting some rumors about you giving away free costumes.
Yeah,
Just had to throw it out there. We're having
He's like, no.
he's giving away free fog too, right?
Yeah.
He's giving away fog machines. I'm giving away costumes, so he can start it first, and then I'll follow.
That's awesome. Now one other question: what's the largest size clown shoe you make? Size 17 here.
I mean, I've made like a 6'7", 6'8", 6X. I mean, so it just depends. I mean, I would have to get a pattern for anything. I have patterns up to that size, but anything over that, we'd have to get a pattern for, and which costs a little bit extra money for the person. But if it is something they do want and it's custom, we can't do it.
All right. So, and Rich is chiming in with your booth number is going to be at 902, right near the front entrance of the show.
Oh, wow.
My gosh. I'm glad that he's telling me that. I'm like, day one. Got
Broadway, right there.
Yeah. So I'm like two aisles to the left of the entrance. Yep.
Oh, that's
He
awesome.
keeps asking me every year if I want to move, and I like my spot. So
That's awesome. Now, do you do anything with stilt costumes? This is actually
Okay.
I actually have one. I'm bringing the TransWorld of one of my Bedlam buffoons. So I will be doing that in the future too.
awesome.
It's not ready yet. I was hoping to have it so I could show you guys, but that is something we're working with.
Very nice.
That's awesome. All right. Now, one thing that we always ask all of our guests, this is a tradition here on TransWorld Live. What is your favorite holiday movie or tradition? And since we're past the official holidays, this can be Halloween or Christmas or any others for that matter.
I mean, for Christmas time, it's gonna be Krampus probably most likely. I catch myself watching it, and oddly enough, I like Four Christmases, where with Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
But Halloween wise, House of a Thousand Corpses by far is my favorite.
Okay, that's amazing.
It's a great choice. That's a
I
great
know.
choice. The first Four Christmases, though, that's Vince Vaughn, a Chicago native.
I'm a big Vince Vaughn fan. It's something me and my wife watch all the time. So it kind of became a tradition, watching a lot with her. So
That's
good
incredible.
choices. Good choices.
Yeah, very good choices. Now, on Halloween, what do you do?
relax.
Okay. Listen, we get all sorts of answers on that. We love it.
Yeah, relax. And then the next day is my birthday. And then after that, I start doing Christmas stuff. So
It's full on.
yeah.
Always crazy. That's awesome. Well, Courtney, is there anything else that you want to share with everybody before they see you in just a few days? Kind of.
It feels
Yeah,
like
I know. We were talking about it earlier, the countdown. Like I said, I wake up every day and I'm like, got to get up earlier tomorrow.
Yeah.
For long, it'll be 20-hour days, 22-hour days, but we'll get it done.
Soon. Yeah.
No, just excited to see everybody. And I know it's going to be cold, but I'm ready and glad to see people that I only see once a year. So look forward to it.
Yeah. Awesome.
I love
Thank
it.
you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yes, but wait,
Thank
there's more, right, Chris?
There is definitely
Okay.
more. I you know what? We didn't prep for this, but I'm going to go off script for a second. So tonight we are giving away. We're going to have some surprises, and we wanted to wait for Nicole
A fog
to do
machine,
that.
right? From
That is going to be in a future show. Thanks, Tater and Caitlin. We appreciate you. But for tonight, Jen and Rich have so kindly given us 2 free standard passes to TransWorld. That's all 4 days, all 3 shows. It's a $95 value. And normally, Nicole and I kind of look through the comments and see who might have commented last and stuff like that. We figured we're going to switch it up a little bit since it's our last show of like the holiday season.
And a year.
that we'll ask some holiday trivia. So we're going to ask here's the rules. We're going to ask one holiday trivia question, and the first person that we see in our chat feed here is going to be the winner. Fair?
Do we want to make it that Courtney finds the first person?
Yes.
I can't see the comments.
He can't see all the comments.
Well, then never mind.
Never
The first
so
person we see.
This is on us.
All right.
All right. So we prepped. I want to check. What do you think, Nicole? What do you think? Should we prepped 4 different holiday movies, and I have 8 different questions, and we only have 2 prizes. So this is going to be totally random. Nicole's going to pick the movie and the question. How about that?
Okay. We are going to go with. Ooh, that's a really hard one right out of the bat. You know what? We'll go with this one because a lot of people said that this is their favorite holiday movie. Okay. It's the first person to answer on Chris's screen as I read. Ready?
Okay. I'm watching.
Which department store does Buddy in the movie Elf get a job at?
What's the name of the store?
What's the name of the store?
Can I answer?
You cannot. You're still getting lots of love.
You're gonna get. Yeah, you'll be able to say it as soon as.
When it's in there, let me know, and I want to see if I'm right.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. I love it.
We're watching. We're watching.
Ooh, there's the people that are Googling.
Yeah, I know you're getting love. Come on, Googles. Come on. Exactly. It is not Tracy. It is not Derek. But Matt has it correct.
Okay, so wait. What's your guess, Courtney?
Isn't it like Grindle or something like that?
That's very close.
That is
very close. Matt Lipke has it correct with Gimbals.
Gimbal, yeah.
Okay, wait. Stick with us for a second. So congratulations first to Matt Lipke and to everybody's answers. Those are great answers there. But Matt Lipke, send us your information to either Nicole at haashow.com or Chris, Kris, at haashow.com. Send us your information and we'll get you all set up so you can come to TransWorld on us. And just because we're really awesome people and because Courtney's here, Nicole, do you think we should do one more?
Yes, I do. Because I really like this and I'm very excited about it.
Okay, but can I flip the script and ask a trivia question that I didn't prep for, but because it's Courtney's favorite movie,
yes,
I'm going off script on this one. Okay,
do it. I trust you.
All right. So because it's Courtney's movie here, 4 Christmases is going to be the topic. Vince Vaughn is the lead male character in 4 Christmases. What? All of the kids in their family are named after the city they were conceived in. What is Vince Vaughn's character's name in 4 Christmases?
Easy.
We're watching the chat here.
I know.
Good thought, Grant, but you're close.
Come on, guys.
You got this.
Give some guesses.
Good, Tracy. You're on the right. I mean, both of you guys are in the right path there. Tater, good guess there. You guys are in the ballpark there. Alyssa says she can't answer, but she knows it. Oh, you guys are in the right question. You guys are great.
You're doing good.
There we go. We got a winner. Jimmy Castro. Okay, Courtney.
Orlando.
There we go. Jimmy Castro for the win there.
That's amazing.
Very nicely done.
Congratulations, Jimmy. Courtney, thank you for giving us the idea.
No worries.
Yeah, Tater, same. I don't know why Rich is playing either. They're
what?
playing. I'm already going to TransWorld.
Tell Jimmy I already thought he had tickets.
Yeah.
He lives down.
I gotta be right.
He's a local haunter here by me. He's a good friend of mine.
That's awesome.
Well, Jimmy, same thing. Please email us at Chris, Kris, at haashow.com or Nicole at haashow.com. But more importantly, thank you all for playing. But Courtney, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. I had a great time.
Yeah. I can't wait to see you in just a couple of weeks. I want to say months every time, but it's just
saying it though.
I know. And P.S. I got all of the candles from Amazon that you told me to get, and I'm so excited.
All right.
Can't wait.
Oh, that's great.
Well, thanks again
Thank
for
you so-
joining us. And
Thank you, guys.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, we'll see you
I'll
soon.
You can check back with me after New Year. I'll probably be more stressed than I am right now.
We got to do an after show for sure.
I know.
Yeah.
We're all
There
like,
needs to be a vendor TransWorld after show for sure.
I love
this
it.
idea. Yes, let's do this.
But you got to do it like days after, because it takes days to
Yeah.
recover.
Oh, it does. It does.
Very much so.
Totally.
The drinking, the 2 hours of sleep, on top of the stress that was added up to it with trying to get one more thing done. So I missed it when I missed it when I was just an attendee. I was like, oh, I can get to the floor
This
one
is easy.
if I want. Yeah,
Yeah. For
Well,
sure.
we can't wait to see you right there by the front entrance, booth 902, right? So
Yeah, 902.
awesome.
right.
So
We'll see you
right
very
right across from Ghost Ride, right in front of Immortal. I got a nice little spot. Some great vendors. So.
3 great companies and a whole lot more right here, starting February 1st in St. Louis.
Take care, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. What's going
I
on?
made it. On the other, in breaking news, I made it. I can't believe. I know. Rich's comment. I'm like, I know. Trust me. If you guys had cut to me live here, it was a race. Oh my goodness. Yeah, my holidays are not over. I'm loving this. My sister is here with her husband and their son, and my kids happen to be like out sledding at the same time. Like, we are still very much holidaying it up. We did our Hanukkah celebration last night. I don't usually cook anything with oil ever, so I spent the entire day de-oiling, I guess is what you call it. Yeah, it was like, and we had our Christmas dinner with my family tonight, and so it was like a race against the clock all around, and then no Wi-Fi, because why would there be?
I know you're not Buffalo, but like, how is your weather situation, your snow and cold?
So not totally bad. I mean, it was crazy. Like, we did not go anywhere the 23rd, 24th, that type of stuff. Rich didn't get to name his favorite Christmas movie. We're gonna have to have him back on.
We gotta have him back on.
I know.
Next week.
I know. At the end, Rich, stick around. We'll get right back to you. No. Yeah, so it's just been fun and crazy and lots of snow, very cold.
Yes.
But yeah, thankfully not, completely immobilized by any means. How is your weather there?
You know what? It hit us hard. Yeah, same thing. Like, I think we got down to like -10 for a couple of days straight, like this last Friday and Saturday. Like the 23rd and the 24th were probably the coldest. And then I think today it had gotten up to maybe like 15 to 19, somewhere in there. And then it's supposed to be 50 or something by Thursday.
I was just going to ask, what is your weather this weekend? Because we're renting a cabin for New Year's, which we do with our friends, and we get all the kids together. We do all the sorts of like fun, like winter activities, and it's like, it's going to be 56. I'm like, wait, are you serious?
Rich and I were just talking about that in the beginning. It's crazy. Like, you have a 60 or 70 degree swing between it. It's crazy. So.
Yes, Sean, Buffalo did beat the Bears, so it is okay.
Yeah, 100%. It's not a good year for them. It's not.
That's all right. Buffalo's having a great year. We'll take care of it for you guys.
They are killing it. Buffalo's great. But
how was your holiday? Did you get anything fun?
It was fantastic. We had a lot of fun. My family got to see them, which is always wonderful, as you just kind of talked about there. And you get to laugh at being silly when you were younger and watching stupid movies. And so we got on something. I don't know if it's big in other parts of the country. And so this is why I like to test our audience here. Yeah. So in Chicago, and I'm sure it's beyond Chicago, so it's not a big thing, but like, and forgive me because I didn't do all my homework, but I feel like this is like a cartoon or animated like claymation thing from like the 30s or 40s. And I'm not talking about Rudolph or Frosty and stuff like that. Yeah. It's called Hard Rock, Coco, and Joe. Like, it's like a 3-minute like black. Check it out on YouTube. They play it like at like 10 o'clock on Christmas Eve all the time here on a local channel called WGN, which got famous for, making the Cubs famous and stuff like that. But
yeah.
It became kind of a thing. So check it out for a second if you get it. It's like this old piece. It's got this catchy song. And so that's kind of like our big favorite tradition. And it was a long story for just getting you to look at something from
No,
like
that's
100
okay.
years ago.
That's
So
really cool. Now I'm gonna make you text me that because I do want to watch
heck
it.
yeah, heck yeah, heck yeah.
No,
But-
we actually, so we're a big like board game family and like
Oh,
playing
yeah.
games and like doing stuff and all sorts of crazy things. And like we're the family that gets together and like sings karaoke in a garage. So that all that craziness though is like coming down the pipeline. That's like a Thursday party that we're doing. But one of the big things that I wanted to show you guys, my sister got me these really awesome, fun cauldron. Now she's from Massachusetts, so they have all the great fun witchy stuff there, but they're little cauldron earrings. And then more importantly, my 10-year-old, the sweatshirt that I'm wearing that I needed to wear for you guys, it's a sweatshirt that says Ma, Mama, Mom, Bruh. He came up with it all by himself. That was his thing this year. He also, fun random fact, my mom is Martha Stewart, my dad is Danny Tanner. That's how we always compare them. My dad is a culinary genius, and my mom can like literally build anything, including like she's built like 2 houses from the ground up since I've been born. And she can literally do anything, right? So he had made, or he came up with it in his head, grandma's workshop, which is a sign which doesn't exist because of, grandmas don't usually have a workshop. And then everything tastes better when grandpa makes it. So it was like, he literally had like custom presents that he thought up for everybody. So it was quite the feat getting everything ready.
That's
this
awesome.
year. We made it happen. So
That is awesome. That's awesome.
yeah.
Robert, 100% yes, 100% to what you're saying. And Kimberly probably put the link in there. We can't click on it.
Awesome.
But
God,
thank
I
you
love
guys.
You're
Thank you.
so
You guys are the
awesome.
best. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, speaking of the best, one of the cool things that Rich was talking about is how this show has progressed and grown. And it's a partnership between everybody that attends, everybody that exhibits. And our next guest was there on the ground floor when the show moved from Chicago to St. Louis. He was there to make sure that the seeds were planted and all of the watering kept happening. So we're really, really excited. He's been hanging out for an hour watching this. Super, super excited to have him from Creative Visions, Mr. Mark McDonough. How are you, Mark?
I'm doing well. And how are you guys doing?
Great.
Great.
Oh my gosh. You are a legend to me in a lot of ways. So I'm a little starstruck.
Why is my mom not watching?
I know. I know, right? Mark, how was your holidays? Are you gearing up for the new year? You ready to go?
Could use a couple extra months. I think Courtney can attest to that.
Yes.
Christmas was great. On a technicality, we got a white Christmas. It was like 11:30 at night, but it happened. So if you're going to be putting up with these horribly cold temperatures, and so I should say, by the way, as one of the St. Louis vendors, I know everybody's worried about St. Louis in February, and you're justly worried. It could be horrible, but it could also be like 60 because St. Louis just goes all over the place as far as weather. Do not write out. I mean, it could be 55. It could totally happen. I mean, it's gonna be 60 like tomorrow or the next day. So
yes.
Don't panic too much.
Yeah. I'm of the mindset if I have flown multiple times. I travel all the time. And there's often times that I leave snow to go to snow, but it's very, very, very rare that it's more snow than I already have. Like it's very, you know what I'm saying? So now I'm excited to see St. Louis in February. Like it's going to be different. It's
going to be different. It won't be any worse than the old days when we were up in Chicago and, it was March. But St.Louis, we because we're in a valley and we've got the Mississippi right there, a lot of weather goes around us. So odds are, it might be cold, but odds are in our favor that it's not going to be a snowstorm. I mean, famous last words. But if you're going to be in short of Orlando, that would be great.
Yeah.
But
Right.
we got a 50-50 chance of this, panning out beautifully.
So Mark, what we're hearing is you're going to put in a really great local request for us not to have snow.
He's got this.
Do my part. Yes. I know people.
Yeah. Good. That's awesome.
Well, for those that don't know, Creative Visions is an IAPA brass ring winner. Mark is a member of our exhibitor advisory board. Mark, for those that aren't familiar with you, your company, and your work, can you tell us everything about Creative Visions?
All right. Well, we are now in our 30th year, and Creative Visions is Yes, I know. It's kind of
Wow.
I'm like, really? I
That's
can't
awesome.
be that old. But evidently I am. Yeah, we are a theming company. We make themed attractions and displays for the amusement industry. And I'm a big proponent of TransWorld. I'll start right here. Without the TransWorld show, there would be no Creative Visions, because this is where we got our start all those years ago. And it's like, you talk about the show starting, they talk about like 13 or 14 years ago when it moved to St. Louis. I'd been doing it for a decade before, plenty plus before that. I think COVID throws the number off, but this would be my 28th year of doing the TransWorld show. And it was a totally different animal back then.
Yeah.
It was a party in Halloween. There was balloons and paper plates and plastic masks and stuff like that, with a spattering of these weird haunted house people every like 15 booth. You'd have like this guy, John Burton, who had like Clive Barker, just blood. I mean, he did blood before Perma blood. He couldn't get enough gallons of this stuff for his booth. You had, different, some of the old guard that was there, and we all sort of slowly started peppering on the show floor and became a huge nuisance to the other vendors, because, it was a wholesale show. We were sort of a retail, direct to the consumer kind of thing. It was awesome that Jen's dad gave us the opportunity to have a home. But eventually we did grow out of that, and we needed to go bye-bye. For behalf of everybody else that was there, I get it. We needed to have our own show, and it's amazing how that's all worked out since, really Jen took the reins and, just kind of muscled this thing through and sort of evolved it and created the show that our industry needed. So, had not to, stroke their egos too much, and you too, Rich. It's been amazing how year after year, this thing just gets better and better. It's like even the COVID years where IAPA is making up excuses about, it's best attendance ever, and you see 75 people there. The TransWorld show is always progressively growing, and they bring in more vendors. They increase the variety of who's showing up, the different types. So it's not just mask companies. It's not just animatronics or this or that. They're finding, they bring the, they find different trends, and they talk them into exhibiting at the show and finding new markets for them. And I think people are finding that symbiotic relationship is really beneficial, even if you're not a haunt vendor per se.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. My gosh, you got really great. I mean, sorry, starstruck. Chris, I'll let you get the question.
Fangirling out. Rich says thank you, by the way.
This is on tape, right? I can watch this later.
Yeah,
totally.
You got.
Rich says thank you for remembering the little people.
Yeah.
For those that aren't familiar, Creative Visions is coast to coast, if not international. You've done stuff for Universal, for Knott's, for SeaWorld, for Six Flags, all the big boys, you name them, Creative Visions is there.
We've been lucky to get to do a really wide variety of things over the years. We've got certain things that we can hang our hat, like we built the first haunted house in South America. To get credit for an entire continent is kind of cool. It was dumb luck. We didn't know it started raining. We were down in Ecuador working on a theme park project. We didn't know it started raining every day precisely at 2:00. And so we had nothing to do all afternoon. So they had an empty building, and I was kind of like, hey, what's the plans for that building there? And they're like, well, maybe a haunted house. I'm like, you got some stuff laying around? And I don't claim it's the best. I just claim it's the first.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
We used construction debris. Dan learned how to do brick and mortar and stuff.
Oh my gosh.
We used real brick, and we just literally, whatever they had in their trash pile, we built a haunted house with. I would say we MacGyvered the heck out of that thing. And then later on,
isn't that the story of how most haunts start?
Yeah, pretty much. This is just in a different country or a different continent. So it's been kind of cool that we've gotten to do things like that. And, and it's fun when you see certain things like where you create something and then somebody will create ancillary things like a plush doll based on something you created. That tickles me. My drum set has like a plush of a dragon we made in our rock monster, or not rock monster, gargoyles and things like that. There's been, I think, 3 things that we've had plushes made off of things that we created. So that's, kind of cool.
Coincidentally, Rock Monster is getting a ton of love in the comments. Like, people are saying, bring Rock Monster back. Is there any sort of like I
It's a
don't know.
legend. It's a legend.
Rumors of like a reboot or
It's unfortunately it's highly if Rock Monster. Okay, so the deal is Rock Monster. We started making that. I'm going to say 13, 14, 15 years ago. The molds eventually gave out, and it was, I think there was like 12 large molds that made Rock Monster. And for those that don't know, Rock Monster was this 11-foot tall animatronic rock creature, and it was 360 degrees. So you could walk front, back, sides, everywhere you look at it. It was a finished piece. And so unfortunately the molds it was made out of were silicone, and then there's a lifespan on those, and they finally got to the point where we couldn't repair them anymore. So if there was to be a Rock Monster 2.0, I think, because we talked about this, and I kind of thought, well, if we did it again, I'd want to make a re-envisioning of a Rock Monster instead of making the same Rock Monster again. I'd want to reinterpret it, knowing what we know now, because it's kind of fun. We did that with one of our products. We had this springy bridge that was like a suspension bridge, and somebody at MHC actually who had bought one said, hey, you ever thought about doing a different version of that, reimagining it? And I thought, well, yeah, that might be fun, because it was, a 10-year-old product. And I'm like, knowing what I know now, how would I kind of revisit that idea? And we came up with something that was better than the springy bridge, because it was a squishy bridge. And I originally thought we were making something for like the MHC crowd, something a little more light duty for home hunters and things. But when we finished it and we tested it, which we try and test everything, we realized this thing had a lot more durability to it than we realized. Like, you could put this thing in any haunted house. You could put a squishy bridge, in Netherworld or any of the 13th floor or even Universal, and it's going to take the beating. So, it is kind of fun to go and look back on something and have the opportunity to take another run at, kind of like, I guess, how George Lucas felt when he got to re-edit his Star Wars movies, for better or worse. And so it's fun to do that. So I wouldn't say I wouldn't go back to the Rock Monster well, but it's a serious commitment to do something like that.
Your two biggest fans for the Rock Monster might be Jen and Rich. So
yeah,
just put that out.
I see that there.
Yeah.
I think Jen's angling for a birthday present.
I love it. So now, question.
Yes.
You've done so many things in your career. This is a bonus question, Chris. This is not on our thing, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
I love it.
What is either your favorite project or favorite creation?
Ooh, good one.
Thanks.
I really, really hate that, because that's kind of like, which is your favorite child?
Okay. All right.
We joke about that.
I mean, Rock Monster is definitely on the list. The giant dragon we did for a thing called FantasyCon some years ago, just because the sheer size of it, and the fact that we had to come up with all these logistical ways of how do you move it around, how do you set it up, things like that. I don't know. I don't have sacred cows, generally speaking. I kind of learned to stop doing that some time ago, because the only way to move forward is to not pay too much attention to the past. So
for sure.
While it's cool to look back at those kind of things, it's probably like actors, you look back at your body of work and you're like, those are great, but I don't want to do Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure Part 9, or something like, 3 was
Oh my
enough.
gosh, that is so, oh my God, I'm sorry. That is so random, but I'm going to tell you right now. So one of my business partners, his brother-in-law is Alex Winters. And we were just talking about
Who's from St. Louis.
The fact that we're going to the wedding, and my husband's like, can we sit next to Alex Winters? I'm like, I don't care either way, whatever. But yeah, that was just random, because that was literally the conversation I had in our house this evening. So that's sorry.
I'm sure he's happy that people know who he is still. He does a lot of work directing, but
exactly. Yeah.
I love it.
It's so random. It's so funny.
So my favorite stuff is like the thing we just did usually,
Okay.
because a lot of times it'll be a unique twist on something. I like doing those, whether they sell or not. I build things for me, and if somebody else wants it, cool.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
A true artist.
Yeah.
Well, bookkeeper would like to take me aside and have a word with me. But it is cool. Like the IAPA show we just did, we did a bunch of these crystals that glow, and then they were deceptively difficult to do. But the end results were just really cool. And unfortunately, they've got to go to their home at the theme park, so they can't come to TransWorld. But it's fun when you get to figure out something. It's kind of like a lot of times people think, hey, wouldn't it be cool if, and then that thought trails off and they have a beer and they move on with their life. I go the extra step and I start putting together bill of materials and like, well, what's going to cost me to make this thing? Which is essentially what Rock Monster was originally. We lucked into a huge piece of primo real estate at the HAA show, and we went from 4 booths to 10, and I was hurting for something to fill all the space up. So I simply wanted to create something that would fill a 10 by 10 space. And that was the initial plan. And then from there, we just kind of didn't look at the budget anymore and built Rock Monster. Because if you look at the budget, you won't build it. You know?
Yeah, that's a very good point. All the way around.
What has been, of all of your projects, of all of like your dream and your imagination, from creation to completion, what has been the most difficult journey for you? Like, which project presented the most challenges and maybe was the most rewarding at the end?
Well, ironically, the most challenging might be one we're doing right now, which I didn't see coming. I suppose I should have. We're making, I'm not going to say who it's for, but I'll say what it is. Sure. We're making some large tentacles as a centerpiece for a water park, like a theme park water park. And it has been, because of the sheer size and weight and semi-delicacy of these octopus tentacles. So they range from 25 to 35 feet long, and they're about 3 foot in diameter. And then they're going to have embedded lights in the suckers that will glow and be synchronized together and things. Okay. And the process of having this large, awkward, twisty tentacle and somehow being able to spin it so you can fiberglass and sculpt on the different size paint, things like that, has turned out to be just a complete pain in the neck. It's a level of material handling that I wasn't quite. I'm like, we've done giant stuff before. We've 3-story dragon. How could this be any harder? Well, each one presents its own difficulties.
Very cool.
They're going to look awesome when they're done, but I can't wait till we get them done.
To cross that finish line and be like, we did it. And then somebody contacts you and be like, yeah, that was a limited release. There was only one time we were doing it.
Yeah. There's things where I know I won't go back to the well and be like, want to do again real readily. There's sometimes you finish a project, you're like, that was amazing. I never want to do that again. We're working on one. I can't talk about it at the moment. We're working on one now where there's a lot of conceptual and logistical issues that take what could be a relatively simple project and make it, I'm not going to say complicated, but there's a lot of details that have to be figured out, and you have to appease a lot of different factors and things like that while still ultimately having the end results of an awesome attraction. And, you've seen that with movies. You wonder, it's like, how can somebody spend $100 million on a movie with such a horrible script? Or, it's like, no one ever complains about the costuming or the sound or the lighting or the cinematography. Those look great no matter what, if it's got like Tom Cruise in it, but you've got a script that's just like horrendous. And you're like, how did that happen? And it's like, I understand how that happens to a degree, because I'm not working in a vacuum here. It's not like very rarely do I get that level of creative control where it's like see in 6 months when you get to see your product. And thanks for the trust. Usually they want some feedback on these kind of things.
Yeah, it's got to be a process for sure.
It is.
So now, talk to us about, what are your highlights from the 2020 year? What's new? What's hot? What are you seeing?
For 2023 or?
No, for this past year.
Oh, this last year?
Yeah.
This last year, we have the same problems a lot of companies like us have this year, where, and this happens anytime there's one of these things, like the housing bust or post-COVID, there's a crazy amount of work that comes out of that for years, for a few years. But for the first time ever, the biggest problem we have, and I'm going to make this an open solicitation. Anybody need a job and you've got some skills, get a hold of me. I am hiring. It is like pulling teeth to find quality people. And with the kind of stuff that we make, it's not the kind of thing where you can just throw somebody into it and be like, okay, make a dragon or, whatever. There's a long learning curve with this kind of stuff. So we're being careful with what we're working on. So with 2022, was with working on these tentacles, which became more of a permanent project than I anticipated. But we're also retheming a thrill ride that I'll be able to talk about in a couple of months. I kind of spilled the beans about it a little too early before, so I'm waiting till I get the
We'll have you back on for breaking news. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, no. Sometimes I get so enthusiastic about something we're working on, I forget about the NDA. And so I try to be more aware of those kind of things now.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us. 2023.
Yes.
Everyone's looking forward to the Creative Visions booth. What are they going to see? Is there anything you might be able to tease that people could be looking for?
Well, one of the things that we're doing now, one thing that's a little different about how we do things as opposed to some of the other vendors, and this is just our way. Some vendors will come out with, 10 or, well, depending on like the costumes that Courtney had, he's going to have a bunch of different options and things like that. But a lot of companies will come out with, say, 10 new products. We used to do that a long time ago. More often than not now, I just try to come out with one solid product a year, maybe every two. I'm not so worried about chasing the new release thing anymore, because we create things that are not just for the haunt industry. It's like even TransWorld. It's like, I know the name has haunt in it, but in my mind, it's more of a mini IAPA, which is another big market for us. So we're heavily in the amusement industry, whether it's haunts, theme parks, FECs, mini golf, whatever. Anybody that wants cool stuff will make it. I'm not going to restrict myself because of a specific, and the thing is, while haunt's great, it's like you're a little limited if you only get to do haunt. So while Christmas isn't necessarily like personally what I want to do, something that's going to like really flip my switch, it's still fun to create some kind of really wild Willy Wonka-esque Christmas display for somebody. and to, to actually have to kind of stretch your muscles to do something that's not normally in your wheelhouse. So we don't worry about quantity at the show so much as coming out with something that's unique, and then, also trying to spend the time to troubleshoot it, which is a pain in the neck, because you can, some people build things and it gets done hours before the show and they throw it out there and it gets troubleshot. They troubleshoot it
on the floor,
season or two seasons, and and I'm guilty to a degree of that. But we try to test these things. So like with the squishy bridges, we took a motion simulator and smashed one of the bridges down 105,000 times to see what kind of abuse it could take. And then we're always going back and trying to figure it, because you'll find problem, like you'll think you have it nailed, and then haunted houses will put it through their tests and really abuse it, and we'll find the weak spots and realize, oh wait, we have to go back and do something about this. And if you're going to do that properly, you just can't have that many products in your product line. And I remember much look at companies like Apple, where they basically hang their hat on 3 products. You go, phones, laptops, and tablets, and they're a gazillion-dollar company. So they're proof that you don't have to have, a Macy's catalog of stuff.
Right.
So I would prefer to come up with, again, cool things that I like. If you want to buy them, awesome. So like one of the things we have is this thing called a ghost screen, which is a really unique, and we've had it at TransWorld in the past. It's never showed off really well because it's designed to be in the dark, but it's a fog-based projection screen. And it's great for things like dark rides and roller coasters and thrill rides and things, because you can travel through a projection without worrying about a malfunction where you're going to hit a projection screen, because there's no physical screen there. So it gives you a lot of opportunities, the things you can do. And so we've got something that we're playing with for the TransWorld show, and really wish I had 2 months, but I'll do it in a month. And
36 days.
36. That's 35 more than I need.
Perfect.
Did I say that right? Yeah. I'll just lies we tell ourselves. And so we're working on primarily showing off how you can use this thing, because it's one of these things that a lot of our stuff is not on the shallow end of the price pool. It's not that inexpensive, because it has to be good enough for a haunted house to use or for any theme park, Universal. I mean, we were trying to figure out, when I was down at IAPA, I'm pretty sure I saw one of our ghost screens in the Spider-Man ride. If you've been on that, they've actually got 2. One of them would not be ours, but the other one I'm pretty sure is. And it's cool because they can just, you shoot this blanket of fog and you project a video on it or an image or something like that. And it gives you like a level of translucency you can't get in any other way. So that's kind of cool. So we're gonna be playing with that at the show, trying to show off more neat ways that you can use it and sort of entice people. It's like how to use some of these higher end pieces, because you can't go all higher end, obviously, in your show. You go broke. But it's cool to have hero pieces like that and things like that, and have the ability to do things that really going to catch people off guard, because the expectations that people have from an attraction gets higher and higher every year, because movies. You know, they force us. You know, we have expectations based on seeing Harry Potter and different kinds of movies and stuff. And then just the simple fact that haunts in general and theme parks are just upping their game so significantly. You know, you go through some of these, you know, elite level haunts and even mid-range, and the level of detailing is phenomenal. You know, I mean, you go through it, it's like, oh yeah, I would be proud to say I'd done this kind of thing. So yeah.
That's awesome.
You're getting some great love about projection effects here from both Robert and Sean, who ask like different applications. Could that be used with like a real actor?
Yeah, I mean, because you could, as a matter of fact, you could almost go so far as to have the video image be a hidden actor with a video camera. So it's an actual live interactive piece as opposed to a pre-recorded video. So yeah, I mean, you can do a lot of cool ghost effects. Another thing you can do with them is fire. You know, we've got a lot of things that are kind of not related to haunts at all based on fire. And a lot of things trickle down. We throw things at different industries we service, and then we find other places that we can, you know, use it, which has happened in the haunt world a few times, where we develop something for a theme park project and we're like, hey, how do, you know, can we make a viable, cost-effective version that haunts could use? Because I think they could use it for this, this, and this. Most of our products kind of came after, you know, 2010 or 12 started coming along that way, where there were things we cherry picked out of other projects that we thought had potential, you know, in other markets or other applications. And, you know, I thought it was cool. Let's throw it out there and see what other people think.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Seriously.
I love that.
Yes. I can't wait to see it, you know, just playing around with it. We've gotten a chance to see it in different applications and to know that you guys are the brainchild behind it. Can't wait to see the new evolution of it and whatever you know, you're going to come up with.
Oh yeah, I know. It's like, and I'm constantly, I'm working on a new version. It won't be ready by TransWorld, maybe by next year, but I'm working on yet another version of it, you know, just constantly making it better. How do we improve the technology that makes this thing work? You know, what's the limits of what we can do with it? Within, you know, we're not making a ton of these things, you know, we're selling, you know, not as many as I'd like, but, you know, still enough. And so it's like, you know, we're never going to sell thousands of these kind of things. You know, it's something that is a specialty application. You know, it's like if a haunted house had one, they would probably have a couple tops. You know, you're not, it's not like pop outs, you know, characters where you can afford to go buy, you know, 20 of those, you know, from Fright Props or something like that, where it's more cost effective. So, and it has an application too. You know, it's like you have to find the right use for it. It's like, I'll be happy to sell people whatever they want, but I really want them to buy something that's going to really make, you know, enhance their attraction.
A custom solution. Right.
Exactly.
I love it.
So now, speaking of solutions and speaking of things, what trends are you seeing in the industry?
In the haunt industry? Or is
yes.
Okay.
Or even attraction industry.
Yeah, I don't know. I think bigger picture. Yeah. Well, I mean, and I think it's not really a trend. It's just what we shall be doing in the first place as vendors is, you know, I'm on Facebook with everybody else. I see what happens during the seasons. People are waiting on orders they don't get and things like that. You don't want to be that person, you know, and if you can do one thing right, it's communication. Ideally, you know, do what you're going to say. So if you tell people you're going to ship in August, or at least communicate with them and let them know why that's not going to happen. You know, if it's a problem with your product, work with them, get them, you know, get it fixed, things like that. Things that, you know, most other companies in the world do. And admittedly, because the haunt industry it's people that are passionate about art, not necessarily great at running companies. And so you come up with a great idea, but it's easier said than done to kind of follow through on how to support these kind of things. And I'm loving the fact that more and more vendors in the industry have gotten better at this. The quality of the vendors just in general, you know, is probably, I don't even know how to put a percentage, you know, 5 times better than when I started. And that's maybe a gross understatement. You know, maybe that's only in the last 15 years. People are just doing so much of a better job, and, you know, and really making sure that they're not leading. I would be a nervous wreck if I was a haunt owner and I ordered like a hero piece for my haunt, whether it's costuming or a prop or an animatronic, and, you know, saved a spot for it and whatnot, maybe even like working my marketing around it, and then it doesn't show up, or it shows up so late that I'm slapping it after like second, it looks horrible. And I'm not knocking on anybody in particular. I mean, we all know, it happens it's an unfortunate thing that happens to good companies, and there's less than great companies that just don't care. And as much of that as we can weed out of the industry, the better. The more people that can really try to stand up, and we like associating with those kind of companies. So it's like, that's why my booth is where it is. It's on purpose that I'm right next to Froggy's, and that I'm just down the way from Fry Props. I want to be around companies that I can recommend you to, and not feel bad that they're going to make me look silly, and vice versa. And we've always kind of talked about that, how there is a group of vendors that I have, maybe 5 vendors that I can really kind of vouch for. Froggy's will have a collection of vendors that they can just really vouch for. We all have this, and, we want to make sure that people know about these companies, and, it's like, look at those and, and understand that, there's new companies that they're still finding their footing, and they're going to make mistakes, or things are going to, or, they have a great TransWorld. They sell 2-3 times as much as they thought they were. Now they got to figure out how to build it all in time. It's like, great problem to have until you're the customer didn't get your stuff. So, like Rich was talking about, it's like, it's good to help your fellow vendor. And I'm more, because when I got into this, I wasn't in a vacuum. I had, there's 3 primary haunt people, but one of them is a vendor named John Denley, who's still in the business, Boneyard Productions. They were so generous with their time to help me learn about the haunt industry. And this is back in 1992. So it was a whole different animal back then. But, they gave me so much time to this kid that was like not even out of college yet, didn't know what he was talking about, never been to a haunted house. That was my dirty little secret until like year 3 of the company. I'd never been to a haunted house before. I'm making special effects and props for them. And I was like, I have no idea what I'm talking about, and eventually I got over it. I'm like, okay, I paid my dues enough. I don't have to care about that so much anymore. But, it was great that people were willing to help me. And I think it's important to help the next generations as they come through. We're on sort of like the 4th or maybe 5th wave of vendors at this point. And the level of quality and professionalism is, the bar is being raised, every time. And that's great. I'm glad it's not like when I started, because my first couple of years in business, we could have something on the show floor practically catching on fire, smoke coming out of it. And people are like, well, mine's not going to do that, right? And it's like, oh, no, of course not. And they buy it, Luckily, we don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I think I could easily speak for all of us to say thank you for everything that you've done to advance all of those relations with vendors, with being a part of that board, with making sure exhibitors, continue to raise the bar to make sure that all of us get the best possible experience possible, the best products, and continue to just enjoy the success that we all make together, because it's haunters helping haunters. So
yes.
So,
yeah, because it's like, it's awesome when people can kind of continue to grow. Like Courtney was talking about, he's like going from, this is going to be his full-time job, yeah. And when in the early days, until not too terribly long ago, there was like 5 of us that were like legitimately doing this full-time, and this was our real job. And we weren't at the post office the other 300, we didn't use our vacation time to do TransWorld,
right.
Or something like that. A lot of vendors are totally in that, yeah. And it's like, hey, that is dedication to your craft, that you're going to use your vacation days to go do the TransWorld show. Right. You could be going to Disney with the kids, but you've got your priorities set.
Yeah,
so, that's right. Well, all of your experience has really impacted our industry. People love your products. We're having an outpouring on the chat. It's amazing. And for those that don't know, we're gonna do some breaking news. If you don't know this, when we started the road to TransWorld, one of the biggest questions, one of the biggest things was, let's talk about that tribute store. And for those that don't know, then this is going to be ripping the Band-Aid off here. We are so honored that Mark has agreed to produce and create this year's TransWorld Tribute Store.
I'm so excited.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh my God, when you just moved
Jen
on,
just
wait,
like, yeah, spit out her water. No, that was that she that. Like I said, I've always been a huge fan of supporting TransWorld and anything to make this show better. When we went and met with TransWorld, before the show split off and moved to St. Louis and got its own identity and whatnot. At that point, Jen and Joe and everybody at the TransWorld team were so open to making this work. And they saw the potential, they saw the future, they saw we needed to change, and they were ready, willing, and able to make it happen. And I'm so thankful. Like I said, there's no creative visions without TransWorld. We can't be doing the other projects we get to do if TransWorld hadn't made it possible for us to have a starting point. And there's so many vendors out there that are in that category that run amazing things. And it's like, no one would have ever heard of any of us if we hadn't had some way to, get the word out to the masses and to congregate everybody. And, it's like in the early days, it was a very much a grassroots thing of all of us getting together at the old show. But, it's like so much easier now. It's like there was always some version of the Renaissance. I mean, there was always a bar, but back in those days, we had like one Mexican restaurant called Maria's. They had these giant margaritas.
Love Maria's.
And that's where we went because there wasn't much in TransWorld in that neck of the woods to do. It's changed since then. But, so I've always been a huge fan of anything I can do to help promote the show and make it better. I think it's valuable. And I think it's kind of starting to fall into that too big to fail category. There's too many vendors that count on this show existing. If TransWorld went out of business tomorrow, a lot of people would have a lot of problems. And so, we all have to do our part to kind of make this thing successful in our own little ways. So when, Jen brought this up about the store, and I was like, I have to do this, it's like, this sounds like a lot. It's like, how big is this thing? She's like 53 feet by 15 feet deep. And I'm like, that's big. Big booth. And it's like, when's the show again? Oh yeah, it's a month and a half earlier.
Yeah, I don't know how that.
This was a long time. It's not like I just found out about this last week or something like that. This is on me. And right now, Jen is shaking her head, and Rich is laughing and smirking. And it'll be okay. It's gonna look beautiful. And we're working on a really cool. We're still in the early stages on it, as far as the design and the pre-production on it. But it's going to be a Victorian kind of look to it, and it's like, and we're doing it in a way that it, because the purpose of this story is really cool. It's like, of course, you've got things like hoodies and t-shirts and things like that, but the fact that they're going to, there's going to be the spotlighting different custom pieces that different vendors make is just great. I mean, this is another way that, TransWorld's more than just selling you trade show booth space, like a lot of trade shows. They're looking at it holistically. They're looking at it how do we want our vendors to be winners. Rising tide, all that good stuff. If you do well, you have 2 booths one year, you have 3 the next year, 4, 5, 6, or whatever. It's in everybody's best interest. So I think it's awesome how they're doing this, where people get to not just showing off a vendor's products, but like a specialty thing. So if somebody's got a one-of-a-kind, unique thing that they want to show off, and it's not going to be necessarily a mass-produced item that they're going to make, they have the audience and the space to do it. So I think that's, there's going to be a lot of cool things that we're going to be seeing, presented there. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how all that goes together.
We may have mentioned it earlier, and Rich just threw it in the chat, but one of the first questions that we got, because of the overwhelming success and interest of the tribute store and the whole concept, and like you said, we're winners together. We win this thing together. The biggest question on our very first show on the road to TransWorld was, I want to buy that booth. There are people lining up to buy your work, and it's not even halfway done yet, right?
Yeah.
So what would you say to anyone that is interested in buying that booth?
We very much want to sell it to you. It'll look great in my backyard, but I'd rather not do that. No. It's partially, it's being designed knowing that its permanent lifespan is not to be it's a one-off. It's not going to be what the booth is, it's going to be something different next year. So it is very much, something we're going to be selling. It would be awesome if I had a picture or something to show you, but I don't yet. But yes, as soon as we have something, and we're still figuring out how that's going to work, but yes, it will be for sale. Somebody should bring a big flatbed trailer or a truck or something, and we will be happy to load it up for them or help them load it up.
See, this is great. And the fact that you shared it's going to be Victorian themed, I think, is more than we expected to get. Like, we knew you were going to hold things under wraps. So,
yeah, well, to a degree, it's because we're not that far along. I don't want to like overstate what it's going to be because until it isn't. And you know how it is. The creative process can flow many different ways, and sometimes, you know, it's like, don't worry, I'm not going to come in with like a sci-fi thing going, well, we changed our mind at the last second. You know. But yeah, no, it's you know, it's something that it's like we want to make sure that it's going to be a great piece, maybe for somebody's queue or something like that, or depending on, you know, I mean, retail is becoming a huge thing just in general for haunts. You know, I mean, it's always been a thing, but like, you know, you can see like with what Larry Kirshner's doing over the darkness and stuff, like he's really going all in on retail, and he's not the only one. Right. So this is going to be a great addition to somebody's something. So it's like it's sort of being built a little bit purpose built for the needs of this, but it's going to be modular, abstract enough that it can be used for darn near anything. So as we get closer, I will be sharing something on this.
Excellent. So can we put you down to join us and maybe expose a few of those details once you're ready to, you know, let the cat out of the bag just a hair?
Yeah, you know, and that'll motivate me to get it done faster, so it's not done the night before the show. Jen's spreading. She's like, "So when's it going to be done?" I'm like, "What day's the show start?" She's like, "No, don't talk like that."
February 1st. What do you do?
Yeah, February 1st. Great. 29th, 11 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no. I want to try to try to at least have pieces of it done so we can kind of tease as what we're going to be doing for that, and give people a kind of heads up of what we've got coming. So yeah, because it's a lot of fun. I'm thrilled that they trusted us because I know this tribute store is really important to TransWorld.
It's amazing how it took off and the fact of so much interest. And so now everybody's kind of aware of it, that, you know, that is out, and we know that Creative Visions and Mark are building this amazing thing. Come prepared. Like Rich said, get ready to put in a great bid, and you can go home with some of this world-class art that's a one-of-a-kind piece that only you will hold the keys to. So
yeah, and the thing too is, like, you know, it's going to be durable, even though it's, you know, technically being made for the show. We also know it's going to second life for somebody else. So, you know, it may well be fiberglass, which is one of the things that we do a lot of. We have a pretty significant fiberglass operation. And so for us to make this out of fiberglass isn't the biggest problem, you know, for us. So it's not going to be, you know, like painted foam or you know, monster mud or something like that. It's going to be more durable than that, just because that's how we do what we do. So it's, you know, it's going to be something that if you got a mini golf course, this could work for you too. Just saying.
It'll travel well. It'll
travel well. Yeah. Yeah, because we know what kind of abuse. We all know what kind of abuse, you know.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah.
But for those that are interested, what's going to be sold in this year's tribute store, stay tuned. Every Tuesday up until TransWorld, we're going to be exposing and breaking news about all of those details to see what's going to go in Mark's Mark's beautiful display here. Tater kind of teased one of his things last week. All of the big names are going to have amazing one-of-a-kind pieces that you can buy there. And while you're waiting to do that, you can marvel at, again, this amazing piece of artwork custom for the show. Now, of course, we have some really, really big questions that we have to ask because it's our tradition. So we have to put you on the spotlight on this stuff. The biggest thing is obviously you create all of these amazing environments and atmospheres for all types of different applications. So I'd like to ask a two-part question. What do you do on Christmas? What do you do on Halloween? What are your holiday traditions?
Okay, well, Christmas is pretty standard. I come from an Irish Catholic family, so a lot of family get-togethers over the course of those 2 days. A lot of food, playing pool with the nephews, which ironically kind of ties into Halloween too. I actually have like on Halloween. It's partially because my sister-in-law's birthday is right around Halloween. I still take the nephews out trick-or-treating, even though they're getting to the age where they're still going. But the thing is, here's the trick: I go with them. I don't bring them. I trick or treat.
Okay. I love this.
If anybody is my Facebook friend and sees my Halloween haul, that's not me going to the candy store and just stuffing my bag. I go out there with a mask and they think I'm just a big kid. And once in a while I'll mess with them. I'll be like, old man, you know. Gotcha. Got your Snickers bar already. It's too late.
I love it.
I go trick or treat. And I think next year I might just go and do the Jason mask. I mean, I know it's old school played out, but it's like,
That's
you know, people house to house. It's because, like, you know, I'm tall enough, and that way I could just go up there because they asked for a trick or treat. I don't want to talk because the voice is going to give it away. So
Smart.
like my nephew gave me this god awful like werewolf mask for this year. He's like, here's your mask, and I'm like, cool. And so like they were like, what's your trick? Because in St. Louis, not every city does this, but you have to like sing for your supper for your Halloween candy. So you go to the door and like trick or treat, and you're supposed to tell them a joke or something. Not everybody does this. This is like,
I love this.
Yeah,
cool tradition.
Yeah, so I'm like, you know, so I'd have to be like, I'd say things like, you know, I don't speak English, you know, or something stupid like that. Or my voice is a little wolfy, you know, and so I'm just trying to avoid having to talk to him. But I had a pretty solid haul. I've done really well for myself, and I have no shame. So I will trick or treat until somebody says you really shouldn't do this anymore.
I love it. I love it. Oh,
so yeah, that's how I do my. You know, it's great to be a big kid. I mean, that's what our jobs let us do. We get paid to do what we did as kids on a much bigger, better scale. So why not enjoy it while you're at it?
Bravo. Oh my gosh, bravo. Well, we got these traditions. I mean, Nicole, you get to ask the best question of the night.
Yes. All right. What is your favorite? Did you ask this? The favorite holiday movie?
Not the movies yet. Nope.
All right.
All right.
This is going to help us. It's going to set us up for our next thing.
Traditionally, it's been Die Hard. I have decided to mix it up a little bit this year. And I was Die Hard before people started jumping on the whole Halloween, non-Halloween movie. It's like it's been Die Hard for 20 years for me. Batman Returns was what I watched this year, though, when I had my free time between family parties. Okay. It is a classic Christmas movie.
Great choices.
So I go with those kind of Christmas movies, the ones that take place on Christmas, Gremlins, things like that. You know, so it's like I'm not It's a Wonderful Life kind of guy. I could take a nap during that, but I don't really want to watch it. Yeah.
That's a great choice. Wow, Nicole, look at that.
I know.
Didn't even think about these. These are
I
great.
didn't either.
We've been so focused.
In all fairness, I saw what was coming, so I was ready for this question.
We've been so focused on these other movies.
Yeah. All right. Well, then, Chris, you get to pick the first question.
All right. Wait, did
you talk about this? We have surprises.
We do have surprises. So, Mark, you got to help us. So, you've been there since day one of St. Louis. You've been there in Chicago. You have been a part of TransWorld's history and the entire growth process. So, we want you here. We're going to give away, thanks to Jen and Rich, we are going to give away one standard pass. It's a $95 value, get you into all 3 shows for all 4 days, get you into the party. We're having fun. We're going to do it with some holiday trivia. I don't have any Die Hard trivia like ready to go, but if you have one, we'll defer to you. Otherwise, we do have some stock ones that we can go to. So do you have any specific ones that come off at the top of your mind? I'm putting you on the spot.
I know the question. I just don't know the answer. I was going to say, what's the street address in Nakatomi Plaza? But I don't know.
There's the question. All right. You guys know the rules.
Somebody must know the address of this place.
I know, right? I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing too. Let's see who comes up and
come on, Tater.
I know. We got this. Okay, I think I have the answer, Nicole. Let's see if you get it. This is good. Let's see if this is a great question. This is
a really good one.
And now I have a machine gun. This is great. Okay, right. Let's see. There we go. Paul Robinson, I think, is the winner there. According to what I'm seeing, 2121 Avenue of the Stars is right, and he's the first one that came in. Congratulations, Paul.
All right.
There we go. Oh, see, we had
all right.
of this.
Tell him what he won, Chris.
Oh, so excited. Paul, please email us at chris@haashow.com or nicole@haashow.com. You have won one $95 value standard TransWorld ticket that gets you into all 3 shows for all 4 days. And you're here, you're ready to party, and we're ready to have you. So please email us with your details and we'll get you there. Mark, this has been just awesome. I mean, we often have this huge conflict where we try to like be very respectful of people's time, and that the fact that they're gonna need to rest up because we have the party of the entire 2023 just around the corner, and we want to keep you on like all night. But truly, thank you for giving us the amount of time that you already have. Like, it's just awesome to hear about your experiences and your entire journey as well. Another huge success. And we're so grateful that you're a part of the family.
I'm glad you could have me on it. Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody at TransWorld. It's like, I think the one thing we all learned, especially the vendors that have been doing this a while, when we lost out a year because of COVID, where you see some of your friends only once a year, and it just really matters, you know? And so it's kind of like I think maybe Courtney said earlier, you know, it's like, you don't want to take these things for granted because it could be, you know, you never know when something's going to like rear its head and maybe not make it possible. So it's like, you want to enjoy each and every one of these things.
Very true. Well said.
Yes, absolutely.
Well said. So creativevisionsonline.com. Check out Creative Visions. Check out Mark's work. It's amazing stuff. Come meet him in the 600 aisle of TransWorld, right near Froggy's Fog, right?
Yep.
And we'll see you in just what feels like a few days.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have a very, very happy new year to you and your family. And thank you for all you do.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Mark.
All right.
What a night.
Crazy show. I know.
What a night.
I didn't
Rich,
think it was gonna be
Courtney,
supersized. Like,
Mark, this
has
is
been
awesome.
fantastic.
It's awesome to have all of them and all of you guys and just enjoying in all of this. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being a part of this. Nicole, are we going to do this thing next week? Are we going to party?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got so many more great shows. And like, I'm looking at it and I'm going, how are we going to fit this all in? Like, do we have enough time before TransWorld to fit everything in? All of these plans? Like, thank you. Yes, it has been a great show.
Hessie.
Oh, what a
you.
night. For sure. Oh my God.
Thanks.
This has been awesome.
I get more and more excited every week, obviously, as we're inching closer, but you just get to hear the stories of all these people who have had their lives impacted by our family, by our industry, by TransWorld, by their experiences, and to be able to be there with people that are going to be there on the ground floor. Like Rich said, 70 some new vendors and maybe more by the time we get
crazy. That's crazy. And I'm so sad. I was really hoping that my internet worked so I could be on for the release of the floor plan. Like it's so refreshing. And like the fact, I mean, everything that Rich has been talking about, everything that Jen talked about, everything we've been talking about coming to fruition in such a big way and being like, this is it. Here it is. It is gorgeous. It is beautiful. It has been a labor of love all the way around. Rich has been working his tail feathers off on it. And just, you know, it's just so great. And it's going to be like almost pre-COVID in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and in St. Louis, and I can already taste the barbecue.
Yes, absolutely.
Really.
We should have asked Mark as a local if he has a favorite barbecue, but he may not want to expose it, so it becomes a hot spot. But all right, as us as out of towners, what is your go-to?
I love Sugar Fire.
I'm with you on that one. Yeah,
I do. I've gone out to Pappy's,
but
I like Sugar Fire, and plus it's right there. And I am actually not the norm. I actually love the smoked turkey.
Okay.
I know it's weird. It's weird. No. But remember now, this is weird. Okay. But one of the other best barbecue places in the country is actually founded in Syracuse, New York, which is so weird. And it's called Dinosaur Barbecue. So I've grown up on that and been spoiled in a lot of ways. But yes, totally great. I can't wait. Now I'm excited. Now I can taste it.
See, I'm with you. I'm a chopped brisket guy. Like, I love that, like, chopped brisket. I don't know. We got to talk to Alan because, like, I like that, like, Texas style barbecue with like a Carolina sauce. And I don't know. I'm goofy, but
I made a brisket last night from scratch. Like from all of the, like, I'm talking whole cranberries, the whole nine. And I got
my gosh,
really good. I know. I know. It's crazy, but yeah. Oh, wait, the boozy shakes from Bailey's on the range.
Yes,
Hundo P.
yes.
Love that.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, we are going to focus on this on a future episode to give tips and tricks from locals so that you can enjoy all of your after-hour recreation activities.
Absolutely.
Do you, Nicole, have any New Year's traditions? What are you guys doing besides renting a cabin?
So we are going out to a cabin. We are doing games with our kids. We are getting together with friends. We are making food. We also go out into like the woods and we go ghost hunting.
Tell me more. For real? This is awesome.
Yeah, we like get ourselves so creeped out and freaked out. So So it started actually in 2020. We went to a cabin and in the woods, and it was an abandoned summer camp.
Okay.
Now, our pictures were so great the last 2 years that somebody booked it literally while we were still staying there last year. I don't know who it is, but if I see your Facebook pictures, I'm just saying, but watch out. No. So, and it's an old abandoned summer camp. And so we got to go into like all of these like different places. And like, I'm telling you, like the creepiest pictures. I'm going to write a movie about the experience because it was so fun. But even like our little kids were like running around ghost hunting out in the freezing cold.
So you're tromping around in the snow here,
lighting, absolutely.
Like Sean said,
night sledding. We're doing all sorts of ridiculous stuff. And yeah, I mean, anytime that I get a free second, I always want to make it an experience as much as possible. And so that's what we're doing. And we're doing the Olympics of like taking like a Christmas ball and like tying string around it and like trying to get it up into a cup. And like, have you seen these viral videos where like people do like these crazy things? Do you know what I'm talking about? Oh yeah,
100%. Yes,
we're doing all of that, and then I'm sure, yes, we will scare the crap out of each other, and it'll be crazy.
I have these like visions of this that you guys are just running around. Things are going crazy, running amok, lighting the black flame candle, just like Sean said, just going crazy.
Ultimate hide and seek is another one, which if you're really careful, because my one son has actually fallen asleep playing this before, and we couldn't find it. Yeah, that talk about a whole other level of fear. Yeah, that's happened. Yeah, exactly.
You're looking for him for hours and like, okay, listen, we give up, and like, there's nobody coming out. Like,
yeah. So we've been there. So yeah, that's what we're doing. What are you gonna do?
We are actually going to a wedding. We are
really?
Yes, I have never been to a wedding on New Year's Eve, so it is a Saturday. And so like a lot of weddings seem to cut off at like 11 o'clock. Obviously, this one's going to go a lot later. It'll have a balloon drop, and I'm super, super excited to be there. So I'll report back next Tuesday.
Yeah, compare notes. I'll be and then also thinking of me while you're like toasting your toasty champagne and doing the whole thing. I'll probably be out in the woods somewhere scaring the crap out of you.
Okay, we need to like send Snapchat because you're an hour ahead, so like we can time travel there and send some snaps.
Absolutely. Kimberly, we are extra.
Yeah, and Derek, I think we're gonna party. So
Derek's gonna be there too.
He may or may not. I don't know.
That's awesome.
Nicole, from the bottom of my heart, I know that we have like precious time for everyone here, but like this is our last show of 2022, and it has been just an awesome year.
It has.
2022 TransWorld, the road to MHC, legendary. Everything that
secret meetups in Chicago, planning crazy cool things for New Year.
Meeting all of you amazing people, being able to build this entire platform together with all of you. We need you. Come with us next Tuesday, every Tuesday. It's so much fun. It feels like a family reunion every Tuesday. That feeling, that special moments that you get standing outside of the Renaissance, being on the floor at TransWorld, being with your friends, being in that back room or backstage at your haunt. Like this is that feeling for all of us. Let's keep it going. And we can't wait to see you in 2023.
It's going to be awesome. And there's so much more to come in so many ways. And our love of the industry is going to keep emanating with all of the things that we're going to be doing. And, Jen, Rich, Stephanie, Claire, Anne-Marie, Robert, all of these people on the TransWorld team truly love and believe in our industries and making sure that we not only have a place to call home, but also a place to grow. And it is truly amazing and magical in so many ways. And guys, thank you so much for joining us, not only for tonight, but all of this year. And there is so much more to come. Thank you, thank you, thank you.